Bullseye. Sweet. Yes, Hickok 45, your internet shooting companion, come to you from the beautiful green hills of Tennessee, the home of, are you ready? Buford-Pusser. Yes, McNairy County. Yeah, man, makes you think of revolvers, doesn't it? Yes, I was in the mood to get one of these out today, and so the old Python, I move it around too much and do not extract it from the safe to shoot it. Okay, 1981, right? Then this one was made 81, yeah. And it's beauty. You know, we have all these modern Pythons now, and Anacondas, which I own, and a lot of beautiful revolvers being made. Revolvers, as I understand, are more popular than ever. Well, I don't know about than ever, but I mean, probably in terms of numbers being sold, it might be. I don't know. But they're very, very popular and gaining. And for obvious reasons, they're fun to shoot. Great, great firearms, the simplicity of them. And of course, the small ones can be very tactical, right? As you know. Well, you should know. As most of us know, let's put it that way. So yeah, the old 6-inch Python, vintage Python, takes me back, man. One of my first very nice firearms was this, a gun like this. It wasn't this one, but it was a 6-inch Python. Yep. And I let it get away, which was really, really dumb of me, but I did it, and I did replace it a few years back, as you all know. So glad you're out here, and I've got that. I got the two ends of the spectrum today. I was in the mood to shoot. I was in the mood to shoot this one mainly, and I've been eyeballing my 10mm FN, you know, lately, thinking I need to shoot that. I want to shoot some more. I want to make sure, you know, give it a chance to be, give it a chance to prove its reliability, you know, over a longer period of time. Because I've had a few issues with some 10mm, you know, the Glock 20, you know. I was never sure it was me or what, but anyway, this one has not malfunctioned yet, and also got Talon grips for it. Yeah, for both my 510, this one, the 10mm, and the 545, the 45 Colt. And I've got the sandpaper on this one, and sandpaper grips, the grit, I think they call it. But I just, yeah, I wanted a really good grasp on this one. And because as I wrapped around some sandpaper, you know, just to get by, you remember that, it just felt good to have that friction. And so, yeah, this feels even better, of course. So, not going to slip out of my hand or even slip in my hand. It's just not going to slip. So, no matter what ammo I am firing, I'm pretty sure of that. So anyway, that's a couple of things I wanted to get out and shoot. Just in the mood to shoot this beautiful baby, and then I felt like I needed to shoot that some more and wanted to shoot it, so got all that. Now what should I shoot next? I'm gonna load up some more of this 38 Special. Okay, shoot some more of these. These are 158 grain, round nose, flat point. So you notice there's not a lot of recoil. I'll shoot some Magnum before I go. I don't really want to over magnemize this Python. I'll shoot some in it. I'm not going to baby it too much, but I am going to take care of it. If you're a revolver person, you probably have a 357 revolver, maybe even some old beat up gun that shoots great, but you don't care if it's scratched or what you shoot in it, you know, whatever, and maybe an N frame or L frame or whatever it is. But if you have a beautiful revolver like this, you're a little more careful with it maybe. All right. You notice one of them got out there to the gong. Let's try that again. I love that delay. That is sweet. I'm gonna hit that bowling pin down there. I'll try to. Okay, let's cock it. There we go. How about another 2 liter? Nice. All right, 158 grain, classic round, 38 special. And as I mentioned, I think, I don't know, recently in the Python video or somewhere, chapter 2 or something, that the Python, as I read, was really originally designed to be a 38 special target revolver, you know. And I kind of, as a last thought later in the production or design, whatever, they decided to chamber it in 357 Magnum. But yeah, a target revolver, yeah, primo for sure, right? So what's going on? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna shoot this 10 millimeter though. I know that. Was there something about last week I was gonna? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. You know, one thing I was reminded of this past week, that business, I don't know if you follow the news much. I don't watch as much of it as I used to, really don't. The Miranda Lambert concert, where she got upset with some fans for doing selfies during the concert. And I was thinking as I watched a clip of that and thought, yeah, okay, yeah, people can't live without doing selfies and taking pictures and can't enjoy the moment and all that kind of thing. But then the more I thought about it, I thought, well, here's a concert, you know, do what you want. You paid big money to be in there and that sort of thing. And I got to think, well, maybe she just had kind of a bad day, or she'd seen so much of that. Yeah, I guess as an artist, you put so much of yourself into your work, and then people aren't paying attention to you, it feels like. And maybe it's I wasn't familiar with the song she was singing, but you know, one of your proud moments of songwriting or something, you know, or I don't know, and then people aren't listening. I can see how it rubbed you the wrong way, but I thought maybe it was a little bit of an overreaction at the moment, but like we all do at times. But it also reminded me of, I mentioned this before somewhere, that Robert Pirsig talks about in the Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, one of my favorite books of all time. I read it the first time in 1981. I was a mere child, right? And he talks about, I think it was at Grand Canyon. He and his son were there, I believe, where it was. And he was so turned off by people struggling, fighting to get up to the rail or whatever, to get the best picture they could get. And nobody seemed to be maybe appreciating just the beauty of the Grand Canyon, the magnificence of it. And they were just too busy with their cameras and getting pictures. And back then it would have not been digital, but you know, so I couldn't help but think of that. That's not exactly parallel what was going on at the concert, but it did remind me of that. How if we're not careful, we are preoccupied, and we're more concerned about taking pictures, recording a moment or an event, something that we're experiencing or that we're attending, rather than experiencing it. You know, we don't really, sometimes we're not careful, we may not experience whatever it is we have visited, where we've gone. We don't really experience it for what it is. We're too busy trying to get a picture for somebody, you know. Don't be that person. Get your pictures, I do, but you know, make that kind of just a couple of minutes and moments, and then that's it. Just enjoy the grandeur of the Grand Canyon, you know, or Monument Valley, or whatever it is. You know, just enjoy that. Don't get too caught up in whether this will look good on my social media postings or whatever it is. So that's just my advice. Now, my other advice is get yourself a 10 millimeter. I'm going to shoot, I got some 180 grain ammo loaded in this big mag. This is, 180 grain full metal jacket. This is some Underwood ammo, range ammo. Okay. All right, let's shoot some of this. I don't know if I shoot the whole mag, but you never know. I get carried away. I haven't fired this firearm. You might have seen me the last time I fired this firearm. You know, I don't think I've been out plinking with it. That's terrible, isn't it? Oh man, there's that deficiency, the FN deficiency. You have to put a round in the chamber before it will fire. You also have to have your ears in tight. You'd better. 10 millimeter, man. Yeah, nice. Well, had a hang up. Okay, that's the first one, I believe, with this guy. Had another one. Man, I've got a good grip on it too, so. All right, now that was the 22 round magazine. Maybe that's part of it, I don't know. Now I've got 180 grain, no, I've got 200 grain Underwood in this magazine. Okay, jack of the hollow point. Let's shoot some 200 grain while we're firing this thing. Boom. Where that's going. All right. Okay, short mag did okay. That's why I like to bring them out. Never know, could be a magazine issue. So you help me remember that. So far, that I can remember, my only malfunction, I think, with this gun, either of these FNs, was today with this magazine. All right, big mag. All right, and that was with 180 grain ammo. So try to remember that. Oh, it feels good. So yeah, what else, man? Let's see. There's something else I was gonna be sure to tell you, and I can't remember what it was. But I do want to again thank the Alabama Holster for their support. I'm still carrying my K6 XS, you know, in this holster. In fact, I got a belt holster for this firearm from Alabama Holster this week, and I like that too. I mostly carry in my pocket, but sometimes on my belt. But they make great little concealment, you know, Kydex holsters, and several of you have written to me and told me that you have you know, gotten them and liked them. Just hard to beat. It's a funny thing. I love good leather, don't you? I don't know about most. Depends on your age, maybe, and all that, your interest in firearms. But many of us, let's put it that way, love a beautiful leather holster, and I do for sure. But it depends on the firearms, you know. I also like the practicality of Kydex with a lot of firearms, and you know, it's kind of like the firearms themselves. Like, I really appreciate the beautiful wood and steel and bluing of this thing, and but then I also love the function of a firearm like this. You know, it's uglier, right? So it's the same way with holsters. You know, what's the purpose, and what kind of firearm are you going to be carrying in it? Does it need to, you know, clip in and be snug, and is it on your belt? Is it in your pocket, in your purse, or, you know, where is it? But anyway, we really appreciate their help, and Talon grips and Ballistol. Yeah, man, love those grips. So, Mr. FN, first malfunction. I've been bragging about having two of these, you know, the 510 and 545, and not having had malfunctions yet. So can't brag on this one. Okay. And you do want to mark your mags. That's the only long one I have out. I think I have one more that's loaded, but with defensive ammo, so you really want to mark it. Maybe I should just put a little mark on that, because I could get them mixed up. I'll put a little X down here, really a little bitty X. Then I guess if I empty this magazine through the gun another 100 times and I don't have a malfunction with it, maybe I'll Dremel that little X off there. How's that? Get it off. So anyway, here I am, and being silly, I think I'll shoot some magnums through this thing, can I? Yeah. I think I will. Oh man. Now these are Winchester 357, 158 grain jacketed hollow point 357 Magnum. You should own one. Doesn't have to be a Python, or it could be a 2020 Python, or it could be any number of other 357 Magnum revolvers. There are a bunch of them out there, aren't there? This cartridge came out in 1935 in the registered Magnum, Smith & Wesson, basically the Model 27, early Model 27 in-frame. So the cartridge has been around a long time. Yeah, 12 years, it'd be 100 years. Is that right? Is that math correct? Is that Kentucky math close? Okay, you got to watch me on math. I noticed last week I posted it's not really a math issue, but I posted the Ruger Security 380, and I gave the wrong price on it. I think I said 500 or something. It's not. It's closer to 300. I was thinking about another gun, another firearm that we were doing a video with, probably that day or day before or something, you know. Confused. All right. Too many guns. All right. These are Magnums. So get your ears in, everybody. I'll see if I can hit the gong. You'll notice a difference in the time lag from those, between this and the 38 Special, of course. I'll assume you were here when I did that. Good. Yeah, gets there a little faster. Cowboy. You need to be hit by a revolver. So do you, Orange 2 liter. If I can do it. I was trying to avoid that steel post in front of it, and I avoided everything. Yeah. All right, 357 Magnum. Not bad, not bad. I think I'll keep that. Yeah, I do believe. So very, very sweet, very sweet. Well, before I get too far afield, let's talk about young people. And do I have any advice? Do I have any dumb advice for young people? For the few young people who are watching, there may not be many, I don't know. There's some. What is my advice? I made a note. Yeah. Be careful who you hang out with. Okay, that's really true for anybody, I guess, but especially young folks. Be careful. You know, one of the old lines is you can judge people by their friends, who their friends are, right? And there's another concept going around I've heard lately several times from people that we are the average of the 5 people we hang out with the most. Well, that's pretty good. You know, we tend to be the average of the 5 people that we hang out with the most, that we're around the most, you know. And there's a lot of truth in that, obviously, yeah. So be careful who you hang out with the most, who your friends are. You know, just because they seem to like you and like want to glom on to you doesn't mean they have to be your lifelong friend. They might be unhealthy. Yeah, they really might be. They might have a lot of problems. You're trying to fix them, and it's hard to fix people. And you might end up getting yourself unfixed just in the effort. So just be careful who you hang out with. You know, you might be better off without a friend than having the wrong friend, right? And you probably know whether somebody is the wrong type of friend, whether they are really a friend anyway, right? So that's my advice. So there's a lot of small-minded people around the planet that don't think too deeply. And if you have a bunch of those people as your friends, guess what might happen to you? You might forget how to think deeply and critically about things. Maybe you never have thought deeply or critically about things, and having a bunch of friends who don't might just keep you in that rut, okay? Prevent you from becoming the genius you were meant to be, okay? So speaking of genius, let me shoot some more of these 200 grain jacketed hollow points, okay? 10 millimeter, boom, bulls, get those ears in. That felt good. Got him. I love it. All right, emptied that mag, no malfunctions, so we'll blame it on the 22 round mag for now. How's that? Okay, nice. So what else? Any other wisdom? Probably not. I don't think I do. You know, I talked about the trip I took to Natchez, and I got into a discussion with somebody about that, but was remarking on how friendly the people were there. Just everybody incredibly friendly in Natchez, Mississippi. Just really enjoyed that trip, and I think I told you all that we toured a mansion and toured a plantation and all that kind of thing, and it was interesting, you know, digging into some of the really cool part of our history, but then some of the darker moments, you know, darker times of our history, you know, slavery and everything. And and you know, I've been around the planet a while. I kind of know about all the things most of the things that, you know, were not so nice about this country and every country, and learned a lot about that, and slavery around the world, you know, it was so prevalent. But and I picked up some books at the Frogmore Plantation, gift shop, bookstore, or whatever there. It's kind of neat. Picked up a book. I was not familiar with it. It was it's 12 Years a Slave, right? Yeah. No, I can't think of the guy's name. Northup is his last name. Northup wrote it, and what was his first name? Drawing a blank. And also another book, Chained to the Land, and I've read both of them since I've been back. Very interesting. Oh man, what's Northup's first name? But anyway, he was a free man in New York State until he was like 30 or 31, and then he got had a family. I think two children, everything, and a regular job, and he was a musician, played the violin and everything. I guess if he'd been further south, we'd have called it the fiddle, right? But the violin. And his first name will come to me before I finish talking about it. But then he got, I think some real characters shanghaied him, basically kidnapped him. I think they tricked him into, how'd that go, into they wanted someone to play, because he would play for money, you know, at various venues and things, and tricked him into playing somewhere, going somewhere. Anyway, they kidnapped him, and and sold him into slavery into the South. And it was really a horrifying experience because he'd been a free man his whole life. And this was in about 1850, no, 1841, I think. And then he was a slave for 12 years through about 1851 or two. Long, I believe that, got that right. Yeah. But anyway, he's a very sharp fellow, and a very good memory, and a good writer, and just wrote of his account, his 12 years being a slave. Can you imagine? I mean, that's pretty right from the trenches, from the front lines, And interesting book. I understand it's been a movie. I haven't seen it, hadn't even heard of it, but so that was very, very good. Eye-opening to some extent, and just very interesting that his daily life and various places where he was held captive, as a slave. Some people were very nice to him, and many were not. Just depended. He had a horrible experience at most places, but anyway, very interesting. Trip, very interesting reading. And I don't know if you do that, but I tend to do that. You can read and learn about anything you want to, a little bit more about it, whatever it is. You're going to study the Revolutionary War a little bit more in depth from living in Arizona, you can do it, right? But there's something about traveling to a specific region, and I've done this for years, and I guess a lot of people do. You go to a battlefield, in Manassas, Virginia, or Shiloh, down in Tennessee or something. Chickamauga, you're more likely to pick up a book about that battle and what happened and how that occurred and who the generals were and who won, all the specifics of it, because you've been there. You've stood on the ground, and it makes it more interesting. And you're maybe on vacation, and you don't have 49 things you're trying to get done like you do when you're at home or whatever. So it's a really often a good learning experience, isn't it? So anyway, it was pretty cool to visit. Enjoyed that trip, and try to learn a little bit, which for me ain't easy. I'm what you call a slow learner, Okay, what should we shoot? Let's shoot the Python. Okay, got this beauty out and got it dirty, so let's shoot it some more. Let's see, I shot some Winchester. I got some S&B, that's 10. Let's shoot another round of this Steinel ammo. It's nice having a variety. And again, we appreciate the sponsorship from Wideners.com. Check out the description. Appreciate you all supporting the people that support us. All right. There's not much more fun than shooting a nice revolver in 38 Special. There just really isn't. One of life's little pleasures. I hope you've had it, experienced it. Yeah. Got to put another one on the gong. See, a little bit more of a delay. I think I have another round. Let's shoot left-handed, the Alabama holster logo. Boom, we got him. Yep, all right. Oh boy, nice. Again, I appreciate Gun Fun Targets updating the paper targets for us. And I appreciate Colt making this firearm back in the 80s. And long before that, in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and 80s, 90s, and then bringing it back out in 2020, right? The 2020 Pythons are pretty nice. It was apparently a bit of an aberration, the problem we had with the 2020 Python. If you've not seen the video, first what we did on that gun, you might look it up, and at the end we had a little problem. And they hadn't been out long. And so we contributed, I guess, to you know, a little bit of a blemish on their introduction of that firearm, but hey, it did what it did. I'm sorry, had a great video going, or had a great time with it, and right near the end of the video shooting, and the cylinder would not advance, you know, and it just, you know, the action messed up. And Colt went to work very quickly, and it had happened on a few others. They figured it out and fixed it, and I haven't heard anybody having that problem since back then. Yeah, what, 2-3 years? Yeah. So, and my Anaconda is great, and so that was apparently kind of an aberration. You know, sometimes when a firearm is introduced, you have hundreds of people, or maybe more, you know, all going crazy because they're having the same problem, you know. But that apparently was just limited to a few firearms, or at least that it was uncovered on, you know. Anyway, so I have no problem. If I did not have this firearm, I would go buy a new Python. Not to say I wouldn't do it anyway. I just not as, I don't need one as badly. And I did need the Anaconda, and I decided I would get it because it's 44 Magnum, and it's kind of a blown up version of this, and that's sort of my Python, I guess. But well, my new Python. This is my old vintage Python. I really like this. So I'm good, I guess. I've got a vintage Python like the one I bought in 74, I guess. Yeah, had to be 3 or 4. Probably not 5, 4, because I remember having it. I lived in a townhouse apartment the first couple of years after I got out of college in Franklin, Tennessee, at Laurelwood Apartments. If you're from the area, you might know where they are. Laurelwood Apartments in Franklin, Tennessee, and right across from Magnolia Mansion. Speaking of mansions and all that, and apartment P5. Wouldn't that be funny? If one of you is living in that apartment right now, P5, Laurelwood Apartment, you're watching this. You think I just made that up. Somehow I knew that you were living there and just made that whole story up or something. But yeah, and anyway, it was a townhouse, 1 bedroom, and upstairs, a big bedroom and all that. And I had a reloading table back in this little cubby hole up there. They were brand new apartments, nice, and pretty nice, small. And I remember having this Python, well, one like it I bought, and just remember up there reloading for it and having it on the reloading table and everything. So that was before 75, because I moved out of there and built a house in 75. So that's the way you can date some things, right? Yeah, I bought the Model 29 when I was there, and the high standard riot shotgun. I was living there, and the Winchester defensive shotgun. What other guns I let get away while I was living there? A couple of 4-inch nickel Model 29s, you know, my 8.38s, and I didn't have like hundreds of guns there, but I had 8 or 10 probably. So, yep. So I associate this with living in that apartment because, Lordy, I think I traded it before I got out of there, before I got into the new house, I think. So that's the reason I associate it with that apartment, I guess. That's where we are. We make mistakes, but I was able to make up for this one a little bit. Got one just like it. That one was made in the 60s, though, the one I had. And that was an attraction, you know, when I bought it. Of course, I bought it in the early 70s. It's not like now, talking about, wow, I got this gun, it's made in the 60s. So, well, wouldn't have been hard to go back to the 60s from 73 or 4, right? So anyway. And people just tend, and there's some truth to it, the older guns, many of them, are more hand fitting and maybe more time, maybe more pride taken in the craftsmanship. In a lot of cases, the older guns are considered a little more desirable, you know, like the 2nd generation Colt single actions, you know, and the older revolvers. All right, got 6 rounds I got to put somewhere. How about one on each of most of our sponsors? Boom. Silencer Central. Buds. Alabama holster. Oh, they got a bullet. Talon grips. Battle stall. Wideners. Yeah, had a round left for them. Okay. Yep, 6-shooter. Pretty cool. So, I guess I'll let you go. I don't know of anything else intelligent to talk about, like I knew anything intelligent to talk about. So like I said, you'd better come out on the 12th of August to Bud's Gun Shop in Lexington, Kentucky, okay? And I'll be there from 11 to 12, and you know, say hi, sign something, whatever, if you want an ugly picture, you know, whatever, I'll be there. And and I'll update you on the other 2 locations. If you live closer to Sevierville, in that part of the world over there, then you know, that'll be in September. So, well, I won't say until I know for sure, but it's in September, Saturdays. Okay, I'm going to let you go, get out of here, and you know, I've got guns to clean, you know. I wouldn't run you off so soon, but I do have firearms to clean. And you know what I'm going to have to do? I don't want to do it today, but I'm going to have to bring out the 10. Yeah, maybe not in Sunday videos every Sunday, but maybe I'll bring it out a time or two again with this magazine. Because if you're like me, and boy, I hope you're not, you're a sad state. You're in a sad state if you are like me. But if you're like me in the sense that you just need to have confidence in your firearm, your magazines, like 100%, as close to that as we can get, you know, you're going to want to test this thing, right? That's what I'm going to be doing. Because that's the first and only malfunction I've had in that mag. I got my little X, a little bitty X on it, okay? So maybe if let's see, it's on this polymer piece right here. Excuse me. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe if I just take this piece of plastic off, it'll be all right, you think? Sounds like something I'd pull on my grandson. Or John, you know, I still use a lot of dad humor on him. Grandpa humor, dad humor, whatever dumb humor I can come up with. So, it's been fun having you out here. Check yourself for ticks, okay? Because they're still around. I don't get them very often, but I take precautions. That's why I smell so good. I use Avon, okay? And a little DEET on my shoes. So, you know, I don't, knock on wood, have a big problem with ticks. My big problem is I don't want to get a tick on me sucking my blood out. I need all my own blood. And so I take preventative measures so I can just go on about my business. And it works pretty well. And the other thing I do, you thought I was gone, didn't you? The other thing I have always done is from the very beginning, I bought this place about 37 years ago, 8 years ago. And I started cutting trails through the woods, like with the tractor and bush hog. Not a lot, but just like there's a big ridge here, and I can go all the way back and around, come back out. Just the width of my tractor. Same thing on the hills over there, and then in the woods. Those woods, like I told you, over to the left, are not even there. All these trees right here you see on the left, to the left of that tree line over there. Even that big one behind the propane tank, those are all just grown up since I've been here. I let them grow up. But so I've just kept trails through there. So almost every area of the place I can walk or drive the tractor or the four-wheeler around on a 5-foot trail and not be in weeds. And largely, well, it was so good, mountain bike through there and hike and everything, and not have to be in the weeds, because that's where the ticks lurk, just waiting for you on that little blade of grass or weed. And so if you're just walking along, you can't see it. Maybe we can see that. It's just dirt, basically, right here. Then you're not as likely to pick up a tick unless he falls out of a tree on you, and they do that sometimes. But anyway, let me know if you want another lesson on ticks, and I'll give that to you. So thanks for coming out, and I appreciate you watching videos, 3-4 a week, and just check the channel. Obviously, you're not being getting suggestions very often on the videos, and I hear everybody telling me that. So just go to the channel, check it out, see what kind of stupidity, new stupidity, recent stupidity we have recorded and posted. All right? So I'll talk to you later, and you have a great week. Life is good.